We bring the same level of analysis when we talk about football.
No, I think we got our hands all the way around football, but how babies eat is just a mystery.
Dude, I'll
that man will
have
never
people
solve.
on Twitter sometimes if we like talk about football for a whole PKN or something. They'll be like, "I love you guys, but between the three of you, you don't even create one person who knows enough about football to talk about it."
He's not wrong.
And it's like, that's true. I don't even, gun to my head, if you were like, "What are all the positions?" I'd be like, I'd be calling loved ones saying,
I know a lot of them.
Is there I know there's 2 tackles, 2 guards. I don't know how many
Depends on the
wide
formation.
receivers are. I don't know if there are
Safety.
more than I think, or if they're just so quick. A
It
safety.
depends on the formation.
I actually
Quarterback,
probably could remember because I
Nickelback,
played.
dime neck,
Yeah.
penny back, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why the Chiefs are struggling. The penny back isn't so good. But
Penny back is bad.
we have a bad penny back this year. It's a classic
Yeah.
Chiefs problem. But I
He's
bet
the
I could
worst
if
anything.
I played in middle school. Maybe my least favorite sport I ever played as a participant was football. Every time like the energy got real high, it's like, "Dude, play's over." And then other times it'd be like, the coach would be like, "Taylor, the ball's not coming to you this play, but you got to act like it is." And it's like, probably not. I'm probably gonna loaf. I'm probably gonna loaf about because I don't care about this. I think it was
hated
more to do with
football.
I wasn't useful and that I wasn't good.
We were given no instruction. I just remember, I remember being given zero instruction by the coach. He was, of course, that guy who had received a severe brain injury like a year or two prior, and everybody was kind of happy that he was up and about again. Somebody hit him in the head with an aluminum baseball bat.
Oh, it's not football related.
No, someone assaulted him and made him like mildly retarded. And this 40-year-old retarded man was our football coach. And I never received an ounce of instruction. I didn't know what my position was, what my job was. I remember the last game of the year or something being like, "Oh, should I be trying to get the ball from the quarterback? Because I've just been pushing against this guy a lot, and he pushes against me." And then they blow the whistle. That's literally what I've been doing this whole time. Like we've just been shoving each other at the line. I think I must have been a defensive
You're
lineman.
like pretending to play football.
Yeah, I 100% was. And I remember going to the sideline because I was like out of that play and being like, "Coach, I can get the football." Like I didn't know we were supposed to be trying. Like I see it all the time. Like it's right there. I could dive and grab it. I didn't know we were even allowed to do such a thing. Like what?
I had the same experience. I used to play midget soccer, and my next door neighbor's dad was the coach, Mr. Goldberg, and he would always yell at me. I was a midfielder for being out of position, and I just couldn't like put together when he was yelling at me, when he wasn't, what the situation was. So then one day on the last game of the year, about 10 minutes in, he had this like whiteboard, like dry erase board that looked like a soccer field. And he showed me where I was supposed to be. And I was never out of position again. He was so excited. I felt guilty about it for years until I was like, maybe if the coach didn't tell me the last game of the year where I was supposed to be, like that's a pretty fundamental coaching instruction that he never gave me. He would just yell when I didn't do it right.
Terrible coach. Kyle, you're muted.
Yeah, it made no sense because in baseball my dad was usually the coach in baseball, like maybe 2 or 3 out of my 5 years of playing baseball. He was the coach, but so there'd be tons of instruction and minutia and learning positions and stuff. But like in football, there was none of that. He just expected us to know. And then basketball was even worse. they didn't tell us anything about basketball. We were running around.
Basketball, you can kind of get
ourselves.
the gist.
I don't know, when you're inbounding the ball sometimes and like who gets possession if it goes out here.
Throw
and
it to
there,
the
like,
best player. And you're
there
playing in
were
middle
no
school.
good players.
Oh.
There were no good players. We were 12 and retarded. Like none of us knew what we were doing. And again, zero instruction. I mean, never once ever did anyone line us up in positions. I didn't know how many players were supposed to be on the court. It was
5.
never even spoken to us. Yeah, of course 5. How many on the football field? I still don't know. Is it 11?
11.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they didn't tell us any of that stuff, not even the basics. They expected us to show up at football and know how to play football. And it's like, we're 10. Like how would we fucking know? My parents, my dad, part of it is like there's no sports in my house growing up ever. My dad couldn't give a shit less. He doesn't watch anything. He probably couldn't name you more than 6 or 8 professional teams. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He never has cared. My mom's a little bit into UGA, so she would have the games on occasionally. But other than that, like there were no sports in my house. I remember my dad being like, "Yeah, just watch the game, you'll learn." And sitting there watching football for like 10 minutes and being like, "This is stupid."
I don't know what there's too. You got to tell me a person to watch because there's so much going on. If you don't know the game, how are you gonna? That's how I watch football to this day. I watch it and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That guy caught it. But like, I'm not like the same way when Woody watches UFC or when you watch UFC, you're picking up on little things. I can do that with hockey. With football, every catch is a miracle. It's like, wow, they did it against all odds.
You see Jerry Jones got fined $250,000.
Oh no, is he gonna be okay?
You know what he did?
Oh,
No,
I saw him. He flipped some fan off and then he pointed at the guy he was flipping off. I had never had an opinion on Jerry Jones up until that, and I'm like, I kind of like him. Like
he's great, dude. He's great. You should watch that Netflix documentary about the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is great. When he talks about how he got his fortune, he's like, I never was good at making money, but I was good at borrowing it. And I had borrowed me about $60 million, and I was in the hole. And wouldn't you know it, that last well we dug, woo, she was a gusher. And that felt the Cowboys. And it's like, oh my God, here's a guy who like bet it all on black and hit. Like he was 50 or 60 million in debt on his last well. And that he's like, that one whale bought the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know if it's true, but I saw it in a movie. And they said, like, when you owe $50,000 and can't pay it, you have a problem. When you owe 50 million and can't pay it, the bank has a problem. So now you're like partners trying to get this thing solved. And I was like, that made so much sense to me. If you make like basketball or football, some guy who went undrafted but never quit, maybe the next year tried out for the team again, somehow distinguished himself enough to make the squad, and then and now he's like a reliable defender.
Tom Brady.
He's just not gifted in the same thing. Yeah, Tom Brady a little bit, but also he was drafted and he was
199th. He was the fifth quarterback on that team. He was in the 5 spot.
Well, he must have worked his way to the 2 because when Drew Brees, I think, got hurt, he took over as starter and played really well. But you take a guy like CP3 or who was like in the G, he's a basketball player. He was in the G League and became like a defensive specialist. And I really like defensive specialists. Everybody wants to be the team's leading scorer, but I heard another defensive guy say this. He's like, when you're interviewing for a job on the team, you don't say, I think I can be CEO. We already have a CEO. This position is a janitorial position. Will you come to work? Will you work hard? Will you do the thing that no one else wants to do all the time? Will you doggedly defend for 90 feet? And if you're that guy, we have a role for you. And those are the guys that I really liked. In hockey, you see it too. The guys who finish every hit, like they don't have to win every battle against the boards. They just have to never quit.
Yeah, I do like that with hockey players because like you can tell in how much they try when they're a guy who's like terrified of being sent down to the minors, where it's like a meaningless game and it's like, oh, that guy's still skating hard, finishing his checks, hitting hard, ruthless. And it's like, oh, is he a good player? And it's like, oh, not by any stretch of the imagination, but look how hard he's trying out there. Look how much the Stars with their $10 million a year contract for the next 8 years, look how much they're phoning it in right now. This guy's not.
My favorite thing is when punters and quarterbacks make tackles. When a quarterback throws an interception and he's got to make the tackle to save the touchdown, or even better is when a punter, but all he does is kick that fucking ball. He's barely an athlete. But I've seen multiple punters run guys down and make the score saving tackle, and I always appreciate that. It's like that guy, you can clear. Their body style is completely different than everybody else. It's like he just kicks the ball. That's all he does.
Yeah. I mean, that does have to be such a scary moment as a punter in the NFL. Like you kick it and then immediately you're like, come on, boys, come on, take them down, please. Because I'm like almost fat. I'm like mall walking towards the play.
It's like when you're 1v5 and search and destroy, like, I know you're all watching me, but I'm not the guy for this. That guy who's dead already, he should be me. He could maybe clutch this.
Dude, I remember in like probably 7th grade football, I played a lot of different positions and just depended on who was there that day. We didn't have a lot of players. And there was one game where I was the cornerback and the wide receiver on the same side, like on the left side the whole game or whatever. And because he was just playing people around. I was an enormous cornerback and not quick enough. And so like every single play, it was me and this same guy from this other school, because he also was playing cornerback and wide receiver and we were on the same side. And so it was just like us like blocking each other a lot.
Mhm.
And like halfway through the game, he says to me, he's like, hey, we can calm it down. Our quarterback can't throw. He's not going to throw it to me. And I was like, that works because our quarterback can't throw either. Like we're 12. And so we like patty caked the rest of the game. just little fake blocks, because it was like we were so tired of it, and both of us knew like at no point can either of these 12-year-old quarterbacks whip it to us. Like it's just not going to happen. That's probably a reason I really disliked football. I had one touchdown ever. Ever.
Was
And
your high school quarterback the coolest guy at your school?
He was up there.
He was a cool guy. I don't know about the coolest guy in school, but like it was a person who was in the cool group by extension.
We had a short quarterback. We had like a 5'9", 5'10" quarterback, and it was like he was the best option, but we would always lose. I remember in high school just always losing the games that mattered and eking by the games that didn't matter. We did not have a good team.
I didn't think highly of our quarterback before he was the quarterback. He was a surfer, and in surfing circles, like how good you are at surfing has a lot to do with like your social status. And I was just a much better surfer than him. And then he becomes like quarterback of the high school football team, and everyone's treating him like a god. And I'm like, yeah, I guess they're right. Look at him now. He looked the part. He looked like the good version of Tom Brady. He had like tight curly blonde hair, and he was attractive, and he was like perfect quarterback, like movie casting guy. And the team was above average, but not amazing. And I'm like, yeah, shit, that's him. He's going through life as the starter of a high school football team.
The captain of our hockey team, our varsity hockey team, when I was like a sophomore, junior, was very cool, but he was like a very straight-laced, like religious, didn't do anything bad kind of guy. He was just like very good at the sport. But the hockey players all got a little bit of cool because hockey's never affiliated with the school. And so all the cool kids drink and do drugs and all that stuff in high school, and they couldn't do that at football games. They could do it at hockey games. And so hockey became the default, like where students go to get fucked up, because like all the administration was there at football games, but at hockey games, none of them were.